Looks like it. Testing. I think that I see Periscope is working. That's nice. And what else? Oh, yeah. We're going to be talking about some cool stuff.
No one has benefited more from a thriving economy than women, who have filled 58% of the newly created jobs last year. You weren't supposed to do that. Thank you very much.
That was Trump at the State of the Union.
Much.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
They don't belong there.
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report.
Terrible.
La la la.
Good morning, guys. I'm James Hake of the Hake Report, and you are listening live. If you may be listening live, you may be listening to the recording afterwards. I do podcasts, by the way, but it is Sunday, February 10th, 2019, and thank you very much to, Chris on Periscope says, AOC thinks she's so cool, big dummy. I am streaming live on StreamMe, or stream.me/The Hake Report, as well as YouTube, facebook.com/The Hake Report. And what else? Did I miss anything? StreamMe, YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope, periscope.com/The Hake Report. No, periscope.tv. So thank you guys for joining. You can call in at 888-775-3773. And what you just heard was President Trump giving his State of the Union address, and he gave a nod to all the women who have benefited from the thriving economy, because they try to act like Trump is anti-woman, and Trump has like always been ridiculously pro-women. He's always been very pro-woman. He cherishes women. But then Hillary Clinton says, I don't want you to cherish women. I want you to respect women, which is not the right thing. You're supposed to, I don't know. But we have more of these people acting up. I just wanted to point out, it was very striking to me the way that these women were acting, these Democrat women who were wearing all white. And so I just wanted to remind you how silly these people are. Let's play this part B of this Trump giving that nod to the women.
All Americans can be proud that we have more women in the workforce than ever before.
Look at that. If you're just listening, they're raising the roof, high-fiving each other, hugging. So dumb. And then Trump acknowledges the women who are taking over Congress. Here's that.
Don't sit yet. You're going to like this. And exactly 1 century after Congress passed the constitutional amendment giving women the right to vote, we also have more women serving in Congress than at any time before.
Terrible. Not those women. Those are the wrong women. And this goes on and on. High-fiving each other with both hands like patty cake. Congratulating themselves. There's Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump and his other daughter-in-law, Trump's other daughter-in-law, Eric and John Jr. Now they're going to chant USA. That's a racist thing. You're not supposed to chant USA, it's racist. Terrible.
That's great.
Trump's so nice.
Really great. And congratulations. That's great.
I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you, yeah, patty cakes, right? Anomic. Scott is on YouTube, and he says that it looks like He-Man on my shirt. This is actually a woman, I think. I believe that this is Joan of Arc. You can zoom in. I don't know if you can zoom in. I think this is Joan of Arc on my shirt. This is a band t-shirt that I had when I was listening to a lot of Christian music and going to shows. This is Wolf in Hand, it's a band. But this, I believe that's Joan of Arc. Doesn't that look like a woman? Yeah, it's a woman. I think that's Joan of Arc. She's probably a tougher person than these other people that are really disgusting. Just congratulating themselves, just so shallow and blech. I just wanted to share that with you. Joan of Arc is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's hero, says the new producer. And Joel would have shot all of them with a paintball gun. That's assault. So, I just wanted to share that with you. It's just really gross. And meanwhile, hi Lisa, watching on Facebook. Meanwhile, then later on, he talks about cherishing life, cherishing innocent life, President Trump did, and they were just sitting there dead silent. The only Democrat that I saw that I recognized stand up and clap in cherishing innocent life and banning late-term abortion was Munchin or something. Munchin? He's like one pro-life Democrat. Why even be a Democrat if you're going to be pro-life? What is the draw? I really don't understand that. And I've known some so-called pro-life Democrats in my lifetime, and they're like, oh, I was a Republican until I learned to read. And he's like, nah, I'm just kidding. But I really don't understand it. One time, I was in high school, and it came out that my Spanish teacher of my sophomore year was a Democrat. I'm like, why? And back then, I just knew about the morals. I just knew that my parents were Republicans, and I respected my dad and all that. And so I sided with the Republicans, and I knew that they were not pro-abortion, they were not pro-same-sex marriage and stupid stuff like that. And this was way back in the 90s, before same-sex marriage was going to be believed to be on the table, really. But he said, when I asked my teacher, why are you a Democrat? Because he brought it up. And so he's all, well, probably because I'm not a rich man or something like that. And to me, that was like a shocking sort of an answer because it had to do with his circumstances and stuff like that. But politics is supposed to be about right and wrong. And and the Republican platform is supposed to be about what's right. So, such a mess. And so these Democrats, man, that Munchin, he should not be a Democrat for long. Especially now that these women are like openly for abortion, and then they act like they care about human beings with this Green New Deal stuff, and they want reparations, I heard, and all kinds of stupid stuff like that. Let's see. I have some interesting clips from another Democrat woman who I did not see over there at the State of the Union, but she has been in Congress since, I want to say, like the 90s. And this woman, shame on the people that voted for her, that vote for her year in and year out. She is known as a nasty woman. They say nasty woman. They think of two people, Hillary Clinton and this lady. 99 Bravo says politics is not right from wrong. It's about resources and power. That's what it is from the left, but it's supposed to be about right versus wrong. And the platform of the Republican Party is about right versus wrong. But you're right. A lot of the Rhino Republicans are about resources and power. And really, it's supposed to be about just making things run smoothly for, protecting us from the enemies, foreign and domestic, that type of stuff. Building a wall. That's what the role of the government is. Not providing abortions for women who don't want their kids or don't want a deformed kid to suffer. I was reading about, unprotected sex, giving condoms to kids because they're going to have sex anyways. Stupid stuff. Let's see. I was reading, before I get to this far left Democrat woman, and I will take your calls too. I was reading this story of this woman who said, I had a late-term abortion. And so she and her husband were excited. They were going to have a kid. And then the doctor came in after the 6 months, after the six month or so of being pregnant. And she's all, you're going to have this kid, but it's going to have like an exposed spine and all kinds of problems. And so she didn't want to deal with that. She acted like she didn't want her kid to suffer. But in reality, people don't want to deal with an inconvenient child. And so she followed the doctor's advice, and the female doctor advised her to abort the baby. And so she had a late-term abortion. And she was just trying to give this sob story about how these late-term abortions are not just selfish women. But meanwhile, her reasons are selfish. And she didn't want to kill the baby. I mean, she didn't want the baby to suffer, but she'll kill it. It's shameful. And this whole late-term abortion thing, it's a funny line to cross. It's very arbitrary, as I said last week. It's so arbitrary because in reality, the child is a child from conception, but they want to act like they don't realize that it's a child, or, oh, it can't feel pain and stupid stuff like that. Such arbitrary things. Whether it's a life, it's a separate life. It's a distinct life within the mother's womb. So dumb. I am kind of shocked by the way that people just defy logic with that stuff. Now, let me get to Mais out of Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. How are you, Mais?
I'm James.
Hello.
I guess we can have a conversation today.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. About women.
So what do you think about a woman? I mean, do you like documentaries?
Sometimes.
It depends on what it is, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about when people put it where women couldn't have kids that wanted to?
Say that again?
What do you think about a group of people sterilizing women so they couldn't have kids?
I think that's
wrong. What do you think about a group of people that got together and did things like that?
That's probably wrong.
And there was a lawsuit.
There was a lawsuit?
Yeah.
Was it recent? Did this happen recently?
What did recent got to do with somebody making it impossible for a woman to have a child and she wanted one?
I'm talking about the lawsuit. Was the lawsuit like in the same lifetime as these women?
It's still pending. They haven't got paid for the dirty deed that was done to them.
Are these people still living?
Yes.
Wow. Where was this?
Well, I want you to go back and look it up, and then you can educate your people that listen to you.
No. Just tell me.
I don't have to tell you. That's why I like you to do your research so you can have your facts and all that.
No, I don't care about that.
I know you don't. So that's why I want to get to. So when you hear them talk about abortion, you fix people so they can't have kids. I'm confused.
Huh?
I am really confused.
You're confused about, I know you're confused, but what are you confused about?
How they do stuff like that in America.
Who? What are you talking about?
The group of people that did it. The doctors that did it.
Yeah, doctors aren't about... Okay, so this guy says that politics is about resources and power and keeping people duped. And that's what the doctors are for, too. I'm gonna take the cynical black pill approach to doctors.
Well, I'm going to put it like
health
this.
is supposed to be about right and wrong, but the doctors are not about right and wrong. They're not about your health.
James,
they're about money and stuff like that.
Then you want to look at Maxine Waters.
To justify
and the house that
this
she's
says
living in.
you're not confused, you're evil.
Well, I'm whatever I want to be.
Whatever. That's what you think. Anyways,
song, they
go
break
on.
my bones, but birds will never hurt. And the truth kills you. That's the problem. But I thought we were going to have a conversation, James. So now, can I ask you a question about something that I've been thinking about and listening to? I like answers. I don't like to just throw stuff out there and just leave it to the wind.
Yeah, you left it to the wind. You left it to the wind because you didn't tell us who was sterilizing the women, and then you act like you don't care about abortion.
I said it was a lawsuit, so you're smart. You're supposed to be smart.
No, I'm not going to look it up. I'm not interested. I'm only interested if you want to tell it.
Go. But you want to have a discussion about women today.
Yes.
So I gave you something in abortion.
Do you vote? Do you vote, Mais?
Yes, I do vote.
Who did you vote for this last time in 2018?
And my vote is personal. That's my business.
That's white stuff. That's white people stuff.
What? That's who?
That's white people stuff trying to say that their vote is private.
Well, I'm not a Caucasian.
That's
I
personal.
am not a Caucasian. I want you to know that. And that's indoctrinated stuff that y'all come out with. Want people to think that. But we think for ourselves, some of us. Most of us think for ourselves.
No, there's no such thing as thinking for yourself.
Most of us think for ourselves. We can look at something.
You're either an NPC for Satan or an NPC for Christ.
Y'all can look at something and all y'all get together on one thing together. But I want to say, can I say what I call for?
All right.
Hurry. I can't get through through the weekday.
All right.
Now, we hear people who discuss Maxine Waters in her house, right? I mean, like, what does Maxine Waters got to do what she got in her house? But then you don't look at Sean Hannity and
you mean because Maxine Waters has a $4.3 million home?
And that's her house, and that's her business.
Oh, yeah. It's quite a business. It's quite a racket.
And then when we want to get to this stuff over in Virginia, now, I'm sitting here watching this, and 3 men got to go. And then dumb people going to let the dumb Republicans come in. Think they
you're talking about Virginia. Okay. So Mais is talking about this. Hold on. Let me give context because people don't know what you're talking about. You talk really fast, and so it's hard to keep up. So I'm going to tell the people what you're talking about, and then you finish. So in Virginia, Governor Ralph Northam, Democrat, was very, very pro-abortion, but that wasn't a problem. But 34 years ago, almost.
That's what the problem was.
Hold on. 34 years ago, he appeared on a yearbook page on which there was also a photo, and he may have been in this photo, of a white person dressed up as black, and then another person dressed up as KKK. And it was a big joke, and they had beers, and it was so funny. But he's not funny anymore. He's just a square, pro-Democrat, pro-abortion, nasty person. But and he falsely accused his opponent of racism. So they're trying to call on him to resign, but he won't do it. At first he apologized, and then he said, this wasn't me in the picture. I'm not wearing blackface or dressed up as the KKK. And so everybody else is calling on him to resign, but he won't so far. And then the lieutenant governor is accused by 2 women of so-called sexual assault and stuff like that. And by the way, Maxine Waters, her husband is a banker. He's been rich. She's been in Congress since 1987 or something like that. Crazy.
And?
Hold on. And then Lieutenant Governor, black man, very, very, very pro-abortion, just ridiculously pro-abortion, endorsed by Planned Parenthood and all the disgusting people. Justin Fairfax, black man, is accused by I think she's a black woman in California who works at Stanford, of like...
Jane, what are you waiting
Hold on. This is important. Be happy. He is accused of, I don't know, forcing some woman to do some nasty, disgusting sex act on him. And then there's another accuser against him. So he got Me Too'd maybe, but he's saying that he's denying it. And then, let's see, what else?
You got the
third in line so he was the second in line for governor if Northrop, whatever, gets kicked out. And then the third one is another AG who there was rumors that he dressed up in blackface way back in 1980. And so he came out and said, oh, yeah, I dressed up like the rappers that my friends and I were listening to, such as Curtis Blow, who's now a minister praying for him and believes in racism, stupid stuff. But this man, Harrell or something like that. Anyways, the attorney general out of Virginia, he's not going to step down as attorney general, but he's stepping down or at least not yet, but he's stepped down from his Democratic attorneys general of America. And in his place came another black man, a black guy from D.C. And then, so like he was a co-chair of the Democrat attorneys general of America. He's stepped down and got replaced by a black man, and there's a white woman or whatever type of woman from Oregon who's the head of the disgusting attorneys general, who don't believe in supporting the law. This attorney general from Virginia was so pro same-sex marriage that he defied the law as it stood. Yeah, Mark Herring. He defied the law as it stood in Virginia, the state of Virginia, which said same-sex marriage, we don't allow it here. He said, I'm not going to enforce that law. So he's kind of like Eric Holder. He didn't enforce laws. And so this guy, a judge brought same-sex marriage under this attorney general to the state of Virginia a year before before the Supreme Court brought same-sex marriage to America, so-called. And so those three are going to are like at risk, basically. They're under fire. And then the fourth person is a conservative Republican, I heard. So anyways. Finish.
Can I give my opinion on all of that you just
had?
When we look at the whole thing, now you got the Democrats sitting to the side. He should resign. But you got a president sitting there with the same allegations.
They should
you got one sitting on the Supreme Court with the same allegations.
Oh, please.
And what happened to them? Nothing.
Good, because good men don't go down.
When y'all get together, y'all do it together. And
there is no y'all. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care about blackface.
So
blackface is funny. Blackface is funny whether a Democrat or Republican does it.
Don't care about internet.
And then I don't care about hold on, I don't care.
Taxes?
Hold on, I don't care about the Fairfax thing either, because there's no proof.
That's a good thing.
Now,
we agree on that.
But he should step down because he's pro-abortion. All three of those people, pro-abortion, pro-same-sex marriage. Very much pro-abortion.
He's got children, so what does that mean?
Rules for me and not for thee. That's what that means.
And you don't have any, so that means you pro-abortion.
No. That doesn't make sense.
So anyway,
and that's a low blow, by the way.
Do you pay taxes, James?
Yes.
Are you getting anything back, or you got to give something back?
I got to give.
Okay. Are you upset about it? Are you happy?
I don't believe that most taxes. I'm not happy, but I'm not upset.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
Whatever.
So you
right,
happy to get?
Nice.
Let me finish. You so happy to get your tax break, and as I said,
there was no tax break.
Again, you're gonna be sad when you have to pay it back, and being happy from it. And when it comes
Mais,
to
what are you talking about? You're trying to put feelings in my head.
You say you're not happy. So when you're not happy, why you're not complaining about it? You complain about everything else you're not happy about. And when I hear a man sit up and say about pro-abortion,
you are pro-abortion. You're pro-abortion, by the way.
I say he's pro-abortion because he don't want to have any kids himself. Don't have a wife, no kids.
You're pro-abortion.
Excuse me?
You're pro-abortion.
I'm not pro-abortion.
Yeah, you are.
I say a woman can do what she wants to do with her body.
That's pro-abortion.
That's just like me telling you what to do with your body.
No, that's not her
and
body.
That's your body, and God gave it to you, and you do what you want to do with it.
Nope. Wrong.
That's the way I see it.
No, you don't believe in God.
Excuse me?
You don't believe in God.
You can tell me who I believe in and who I don't believe in.
I'm going to tell you. You don't believe in God.
I'm going to tell you how y'all do stuff. I'm just looking at the Democrats and the Republicans. Women in
I have somebody who wants to talk to you.
Like what happened to Emmett Till, and she came back and told
Emmett Till. Oh, gosh.
Y'all need to get it together.
And you act like you're not into the black
folks alone.
It's Mais, M-A-Z-E, Mais. Because she'll make you dizzy and you'll be all confused.
So, Mais, anyway.
Okay, before I let you go, I gotta put somebody on the line with you. He hasn't gotten to talk with you in a while. Tim out of Louisiana, how you doing?
James, what's wrong with y'all phone?
Hey, what's going on, James? And how you doing, Motormouth Mais?
My name is Mais, not a motor.
Motormouth Mais.
You talking about who I am, whoever you are.
Mays, I wanna
Young
ask you a
man.
question. What did you think about the Great White Hope State of the Union address?
That's a good question.
Nothing, because I didn't listen to those State of the Union because there was no State of the Union address.
You don't know how to listen.
Now,
do
what
you?
else do you need to ask me? I told you I'm not indoctrinated to listen and do what y'all want people to do. Just because you are,
We know
don't mean
you're
that I have to.
indoctrinated, Mays.
Excuse me?
I was just
Now,
He
what
said
else
you're
do you do?
indoctrinated.
Now, did you pay taxes this year?
By
Did you owe
definition,
anything
Maze,
back?
by definition, you are indoctrinated because you repeat the same stupid line. It's a woman's
No,
body.
you repeat
It's
the
a
same
woman's
stupid
body.
line that y'all want us to follow, but we can't do
But
it.
no, it's not.
It's
Okay, maybe
impossible.
it's stupid, but it's a right line.
Maze.
It's a true line.
Really?
Did you ask me if I paid
Come
taxes?
on, left and a right, and they all work together against you.
I,
You don't even have to
I didn't
nothing
say
to
left,
it.
right. I said right versus wrong.
I was a left and a right,
Maze.
and they both work against you because you got to pay
Did
taxes.
you ask me if I paid taxes this year?
I asked you that question.
Yeah, I help support the welfare of mamas and the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, and I do too, and I help support the rich too. So what they got to do with anything?
I didn't do it willfully, but I don't want to get thrown in jail, so I had to pay my taxes.
Yep, gotta
But
obey the
I
law.
did pay
Really?
taxes.
Well, everybody don't pay their taxes, don't go to jail.
So whenever you
Really,
swipe your
that you said, I
EBT card
said it here
today,
first.
just say
So what
thank
else
you.
Maze,
you
do
have
you
to ask
watch
me with
church?
ignorance?
Maze, do you watch
What?
church?
Sure, I listen.
You listen? Nice.
So you can't see any faces. You can just only hear voices.
That's
so
all right.
it's
You don't complain. All right, Maze, thank you. Nice to talk
That's
with
just
you.
like hiding. But James, I
Bye,
still have a
Maze.
question to ask you.
Oh, man. All right, real fast. I'm
My
going to
sister
give you
was-
40 seconds.
My sister be trying to get through the show.
Your sister?
But it's always, it'll ring and then they'll hang up. She wants to know what's going on.
I don't know.
Potato
wrong with
Maybe
y'all
she's
last-
dialing the wrong number.
She got that
No,
Obama
she's
phone.
not dialing the wrong number. She's dialing the right number. So what's wrong with the
Well,
line?
Obama
Maybe she has an Obama phone like past president.
No, it's a Bush phone because he came out with it first. That's the ignorance, you know. Because,
But Obama
a
increased.
telephone.
Obama increased all
Get
that
it
stuff.
together. Y'all
Obama
need to
was-
get together. And that little one that's following you, like Joel.
Bush is
he's
just
messed
like
up.
Obama.
Joel
Bush is
really messed
Obama
up.
light.
What?
Bush is just
You
like
would.
Obama. He's
You
part of
would.
y'all.
Then you wish.
All right.
But I'm saying
Maze,
the
I gotta
Republicans
go.
and Democrats
Nice to
work
talk to
together,
you.
and that's what's wrong with y'all.
All
Y'all
right.
need to get up under that
I gotta go,
indoctrination
Maze.
and wake up.
Goodbye.
And the one talking to you,
I had to hang up on her. I kept her on for 14 minutes. It's too long. Tim,
too
nice
long,
to hear
man.
from you, man.
Hey, likewise, man. What's going on, James?
Not
Long
much.
time no talk.
Yeah, I know.
If Mays is still listening, I want her to remember all the red-blooded Americans who are paying their taxes when she swipes her EBT card today. To thank them for the tax money.
I don't
That's
believe
going
that
into
she
welfare.
does. I don't believe that she's on welfare. I think that she's just, well, maybe she is, but I don't believe it.
She might.
I think that she
might not
is,
be.
but she's definitely very pro-abortion and indoctrinated in that stupid woman's body stuff. Yeah, what a mess.
Yeah. What did you think of the State of the Union address, James?
I loved it. It was so refreshing. I liked how he handled himself with all this stuff, and I liked how he said the wall will be built, and I'm gonna get it done. And I know that, but it was nice to hear him say it again, because all these black-pilled, shallow thinking, details-oriented people that don't believe he's gonna build the wall. And then, like, there are people that want him to build the wall but don't think he's going to do it. And then there's the people that don't want him to build the wall, and then they're attacking him for having hired illegal aliens, as if he has any knowledge or say about it. Illegal aliens are fraudulent people. Yeah. Anyways.
People who criticize President Trump about his tactic to get the wall built just don't understand the strategy.
Yeah.
They don't understand how he's used. It's like it's a chess game, really.
Yep.
So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you
hard
got to
for
go
white
through
people to understand that.
Got to go through the steps, because they
If you're
could
beta-
so easily stop him. If he declared a national emergency, they'd be like, "Oh, you can't use those funds," and then like these stupid court judges are so ridiculous. And meanwhile, he's exposing how awful these court judges are, and then people are saying, "Oh, we already know how awful these court judges are," but that's not true. Everybody doesn't realize that, and he's showing the people. We've all known, like, those of us who are like more on the conservative side have always known how corrupt the media is and all that stuff, but he's exposed it all the more, and all the more people are becoming aware of it. The media,
That's
the
right.
judges, and the politicians, all of them. They're just corrupt, nasty, dirty people. And the deep state stuff, the people that are working with the FBI, just undermining him at every step, and all these other departments, they're Democrats. Democrats fill the government jobs. And
aren't they still like investigating Trump and like they're still on anything?
And they opened up the next day. They opened yet another investigation on Trump. That
was funny because I was looking at the paper the other day, and I glanced at the paper and it said, probe subpoenas more people from Trump's inaugural committee. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Right.
Like, what does that even mean?
It's a mess. They don't care about justice or what's right. It's so funny watching these people that are all about, believe women and stuff like that, when they were accusing Trump and when they were accusing Kavanaugh and all that stuff. And now all of a sudden, this Justin, whatever his name is, Fairfax out of Virginia, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is getting chased down the hall. And somebody's asking her about what does she think about the Justin Fairfax situation, him being accused by two women of so-called sexual assault or whatever. And she's like, I haven't looked into it. She would look into it if it were about Trump, or she would pretend like she looked into it. What a mess.
Yeah, if it was Trump, she'd be looking inside, outside, left, right, up and down.
Yeah. And then she's so shallow. She's like, after all that mess that we saw with the celebrating and raising the roof and high-fiving, these Democrat women cheering themselves, being so shallow and selfish, I think, you know what? They're acting like he trolled himself.
They don't even realize what they're high-fiving for. They just put the hand up and like, oh, yeah, you're a girl. High-five.
Right.
Like, it's just absent. They're just absent from the consciousness.
She said
they're all beta males.
She said that that he trolled himself, that Trump trolled himself when he said that. And all these, the media is like, he's acting like he's responsible for these women being elected. In a way, he kind of is, because the backlash among the liberal side has gone like ridiculous. So they're electing the most disgusting women that you can think of, and morally disgusting. And then, but him doing that, he's exposing them for how shallow they are. They're just they're cheering themselves. They cheered themselves more than anything else that they cheered. And they just sat on their hands when it was talked about innocent life. They don't care about innocent life.
Yeah, they like you just said it. They pretty much expose themselves, and I think that's part of Trump's plan.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Trump is obviously highly intelligent, so I'm pretty sure he's already thought about what's going to happen, what could happen, and I mean, I guess this is part of his plan. I
think he has really good instincts. He may not have 100%. A total plan. He has a plan, but he doesn't necessarily know how people are going to react. But he's just real. In his book, The Art of the Deal, he talks about like following your gut, and I think that's where it comes from. He's just following his gut and calling the play by the gut. You know what I mean? It's nice to see too. It's so encouraging to see a guy like that in office. It's so refreshing, and we all got to step up now.
Yeah,
and be like, agreement. And be like morally correct, because all this wall stuff and all that, those are just like physical good steps to take, logical steps. But we have to be like right so that we set a better example, because he sets a better example, and it's like eye-opening, and it brings out the worst in the disgusting people. And
yeah, did you see those beta males wearing white at the State of the Union?
They were beta males or females or people. What are you talking
beta
about?
Trannies, transgender, beta. I don't know. You don't know what they are, man. You can never, like, these days they're all
definitely
all
not.
Different.
They're definitely not ladies. They're not ladies in the traditional sense.
They're betas, beta female.
Yeah, nice to hear from you, Tim. I hope all is well.
Likewise. Yeah, man, everything's going well.
You come into the men's conference this year?
Yes, it's June 16th, right?
I believe so. If that's the day before, if that's the Saturday, the day before Father's Day, then yes.
Yeah, I'll be in LA that weekend.
Right on.
I'll be there, man.
Looking forward to it, man.
Likewise, man. Thanks for taking my call, James.
By the way, everybody join Discord. We gotta revive that. Some people are still coming on it. But
Yes. People
Tim
saw
set
that,
up
but it's
Tim
not
set
as
up our
active as it used to
Discord,
be.
Jesse Lee Peterson
Yeah.
Discord. All right,
Check it
Tim,
out,
nice to
guys.
hear from you, man.
All right, James. Thanks, man.
All
Later.
right, take care. I want to get to this nasty woman who shall be named. I got some clips from the Daily Caller. Sheila Jackson-Lee is a Democrat representative out of Texas, Houston area, I believe. And she's been in office, I believe, since the 90s. And she does not belong in office. Another woman who does not belong in office. She was at a hearing, speaking of this stupid investigation of Trump. Trump is being investigated by Robert Mueller and the angry Democrats, as President Trump calls them. And so these Democrats are holding a hearing of the acting attorney general. They're interviewing the acting attorney general, who is stepping in place temporarily because Jeff Sessions has stepped down. Jeff Sessions was not doing good stuff as far as the wall and all that. He was attacking weed, which is fine, but he was not addressing all the attacks on the MAGA people, Trump supporters, and all that stuff. And he might have been doing okay as far as the immigration stuff, but he could have done so much better. So Trump asked him to resign. He resigned. Now Matthew Whitaker is the acting attorney general, and I don't know anything about him, but at least by contrast with Sheila Jackson-Lee, the Democrat from Texas, the angry Democrat woman who doesn't belong there, he's doing way better in presentation than she. He belongs there much more than she. So, here it is. Here's Sheila Jackson-Lee trying to force yes or no questions. And these are not the enlightening type of yes or no questions that Jesse asks. These are the ones that are meant to deceiving yes or no questions. And he will clarify. So here's Sheila Jackson-Lee. Blech.
And with the short time that I have, I want to make sure that your questions are answered in a yes or no matter. This is the first oversight hearing we have had in the Justice Department in almost 15 months. You did not have a confirmation hearing, and you have not yet appeared for an oversight hearing. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Trying to act all tough.
Congresswoman, I am the acting.
Yes or no? Have you appeared before an oversight hearing in the Congress?
Congresswoman, I have not.
It has been 10 years.
Before.
Witness will answer the question as asked, please.
Mr. Chairman.
What a mess. And somebody said total theater in the Periscope. And you're right. It's total theater. It's just a big show. And she's not she acts like she's a respectable person, but she's not. She's really gross. Here's part B.
Mr. Chairman, if the parliamentary inquiry, if he feels that a yes or no is appropriate, he'll answer in a yes or no. If he does not feel it's appropriate, he should be able to answer in the appropriate, as many Democrat administration officials have done before this committee before. That is unreal.
The member has only 5 minutes, and if
we've just discovered that we have
wants a yes or no answer, she's entitled to it. I will not allow the witness to stall and waste members' time.
Where were you when Ms. Lynch and Mr. Holder were here?
Witness will answer
Mr. Chairman, may I have my time restored? I think it was at 4 minutes.
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Bossy woman. Doesn't belong. You know, this man, Doug Collins, Republican, he was a ranking member. I guess this is the House Judiciary Committee. He calls out, where were you guys? And he calls out the chairman. And the chairman is this guy, Jerrold Nadler, Democrat, fake person. So Doug Collins calls him out and says, hey, where were you guys when Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch, they weren't answering questions directly. They weren't answering yes or no questions. Now all of a sudden they want to answer these yes or no questions. And these are dumb yes or no questions. They're fake. And what a mess. Here's her going back and forth, and she's asking about her time and all that stuff. And Whitaker I think she goes off on Whitaker here.
Again, Mr. Attorney General, the question is, did you have a confirmation hearing, and has it been more than 10 years since you testified before Congress?
Congresswoman,
Can the clock be restored?
It was. I'm sorry, what was your, I don't know if your time's been restored or not.
Mr. Attorney General, we're not joking here, and your humor is not acceptable. Now, you are here because we have a constitutional duty to ask questions, and the Congress has the right to establish government rules. The rules are that you are here. So I need to ask the question, and I need to have my time restored so that you can behave appropriately. I will behave appropriately as a member of the Judiciary Committee.
Power trip. So nasty. I kind of like how this guy is handling her. Here's him, Whitaker, Acting Attorney General Whitaker, giving the relevant context to her stupid yes or no question. Here it is. He explains.
I'm asked a question. Did you have a confirmation hearing, and have you not yet appeared for an oversight hearing?
Congresswoman, I am an acting Attorney General. I have been appointed according to the Vacancies Reform Act, and I have never appeared in front of Congress for any hearing, even when I was United States Attorney.
I'm asked for a yes or no answer. Is that? Yeah. And so you've never appeared.
She's black and slow, but not in a good way. She's, ugh. And she's deceptive. She's so deceptive because she's talking about something that doesn't even really matter. Sheila presses another yes or no question. Listen to this. And she's hiding behind the Constitution. Stupid stuff. Listen to this.
Prior to the firing of former Attorney General Jeff Sessions, did you discuss or share your private opinions of the special counsel investigation with the Chief of Staff, Trump family members, and others? Yes or no?
As I previously answered, Congresswoman.
Yes or no, sir?
As I previously answered, Congresswoman, I have not discussed.
Yes or no?
As I previously answered, Congresswoman, I have not discussed.
And since you're appointed acting Attorney General, did you discuss or share your private opinions with the special counsel?
So rude.
Again, the special counsel's investigation is an ongoing investigation, and I have nothing more to say than what I've already said.
So you are denying reports that you shared many one-on-one calls with President Trump and his then Chief of Staff, John Kelly, when Jeff Sessions was still Attorney General?
Again, Congressman, is there someone that provides you the basis for that question, or is that an anonymously sourced
I am asking
article?
the question, sir. Answer the question, yes or no.
Could you repeat the question, please?
So she's pressing him on this stupid stuff, trying to bring doubt on Trump, really. They're trying to take down Trump with this stupid fake Russia investigation. And she's going to talk about fake versus real, and she has it all backwards. But here's where he answers that question finally, just like he's not discussing it.
So you are denying the reports that you shared many one-on-one calls with President Trump and then his Chief of Staff, John Kelly? Are you denying that, yes or no?
Congresswoman, as I've mentioned several times today in my opening statement and otherwise,
yes or no?
I'm not talking about the conversations that I've had with the President of the United States or his senior staff.
So that is a no?
I don't think you can assume anything from that.
And this person is right. I'm watching on Periscope. Somebody said she's being hostile and assuming the answers to her own questions. And yeah, she is a rude, disgusting, evil, nasty, fake person. And when he said, I'm not discussing that, she's like, oh, so that means you're denying it? What a dummy. Here's where she brings up serious issue of Russia and foreign interference. And then she says that, oh, is that more important to you than the fake concern of voter fraud? So she asked this loaded, deceiving question. Jesse asks loaded questions loaded with truth, and she asks loaded questions loaded with lies. Listen to this.
Do you believe the involvement of the hostile foreign entities interfering with the elections is more severe than the false representation of voter fraud in elections? Do you believe that a foreign interference with the elections is more severe?
Congresswoman, I think foreign interference in our election system in the United States is a very serious and ongoing concern. I also believe that voter fraud is a serious concern.
That's the right answer. She's acting like voter fraud is not a real thing. And yet she doesn't belong there. She went after Diamond and Silk in the same way that she's going after him, all rude and disgusting and trying to be everybody's mama or aunt or just a bossy woman acting like on a power trip. And she's deceptive. She was deceptive with Diamond and Silk, who are pro-Trump black ladies who talk. And she was deceptive about Facebook censoring Trump supporters. And she, speaking of like fake stuff, she called the killing of that 7-year-old girl a few weeks ago. Remember that? There was a 7-year-old black girl who was killed in Houston. And she was like, oh, we need to investigate this as though it's a hate crime. And meanwhile, it comes out that it was a black person who is the suspect. 2 black people are the suspect. Then she's still not apologizing for it. She's acting like, oh, she was right to bring up the hate crimes. And she drafted some hate crimes legislation, by the way. She's been in there too long. She doesn't belong there at all. She never should have been elected. And shame on the blacks who voted for her and whoever else in Houston voted for her year after year or term after term. She said, oh, I got this from Wikipedia. Very good source in this case. She said that storm names are too white. They need to have African-American names for these hurricanes. You know how all these hurricanes are coming in and they're called Hurricane Andrew, Hurricane whatever. Well, Katrina, whatever. Katrina's kind of a black name, isn't it? It can be black or white. But she said she wants African-American names for these storms. So maybe we should have Hurricane Sheila. She compared, speaking of more fake issues that she brought up, she compared the Tea Party to the KKK. And she said we need to have, what else did she say? Oh, we need to investigate the Tea Party and make sure that they're not using voter intimidation on blacks in the Houston area. Fake issues. Her staff allegedly hates her, as you can see. Like, she has just attitude, and nobody likes her when she flies. There was a stewardess who told her that she can just go on another. Let me just ban this guy. Oh, what was that? She can go on another airline if she doesn't want to just follow the rules or something like that. And she cried racism on a flying customer whose first class seat she took. She's been nasty all along, and then she comes up with this fake class and fake apology and all that stuff. She's the one who's fake and talking about this fake issue of voter fraud. It's so easy to commit voter fraud nowadays, and they want it to be easy. They don't want voter ID laws. And so anyways, let me give you a throwback of last April when she went after Diamond and Silk. You have that clip? Yeah. Let's play that one.
Hold on for a moment. Miss Jackson, don't try to mince my words. Let me explain to you this here. April the 5th, 2018, they took and they deemed us unsafe to the community and told us it wasn't appealable.
Have you got
that was April the 12th
Hardaway,
is when
I am the one asking questions. You're in a judicial committee hearing, and I respect you, and you're going to respect me.
That was so fake. This woman, Hardaway, who's one of the Diamond and Silk ladies, is explaining some situation because this is another instance of Sheila Jackson-Lee purposely she said mincing my words, purposely misunderstanding and making assumptions and calling people liars when she's the one who's the liar. And so she was explaining, she wasn't trying to ask questions. Diamond and Silk were explaining, not trying to ask questions. And then Sheila Jackson-Lee says, I am the one asking questions. But she was explaining. So phony. Let me tell you guys about this story where this has been in my consciousness like for a few weeks now, because Jesse Lee Peterson got this great call a few weeks ago of this man who loves Jesse. He's like, amazing. And beta, because he admitted having been a beta, he moved out at 28 years old and he had been with a girlfriend since like age 23 or something like that. But this girlfriend had a child allegedly from rape. And so he asks if he is right to try to work it out with this woman. And Jesse says, absolutely no. You cannot marry this woman. I mean, you should not, basically. And this man was asking Jesse advice, and then he's like, yeah, I kind of knew that. But the point is that Jesse's always said that step parents, it doesn't work. Don't be a step parent. It's not ideal. It's not good. The kid wants his real parents. He wants his real mother, undivided attention. He wants his real father or her real father, undivided attention. And since this person is an alleged rapist, who knows if he was convicted or accused or whatever, or maybe the woman was lying, who knows. But for whatever reason, the father cannot be in the child's life. The mother should stay alone throughout this girl's childhood, this daughter from alleged rape. And that was Jesse's point. And then, but Jesse says that she needs to love her father, meaning not hate. And Jesse always says love means not hating, right? Anybody who watches Jesse consistently knows that. And I know one group of people that hate Jesse who watch him consistently. I know many people who do that. But one of these people is Right Wing Watch. Right Wing Watch is a far-left fake news organization. And I call them fake news for a very specific reason. Because normally they just quote Jesse. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a nice quote. And they act like they're supposed to be outraged over the things that he says. But most of those things that he says, almost all of the things that he says, he stands by. And you or I would stand by them too because they're logical, they're right, they're good morals. But Right Wing Watch being anti-Christian, anti-white, anti-American, all that stuff, anti-Republican, they like to act like they're outraged over the truth. Now, this time, they lied about what he said. They just brazenly lied about what he said. And I saw it in a headline. Headline goes something like, Jesse Lee Peterson says rapists should raise their child from rape. Total fake news. He didn't even mention what the alleged rapist father should do. But they're acting like that's what he was saying. And I don't know where they got that. If it was they're not honest people, so they don't make honest mistakes. But if it was a quote unquote honest misinterpretation, it was a ridiculous one. Because he never said anything like that. He never even addressed what the real father should do, because the real father is not the one who called. It was the boyfriend of the mother. And so he's telling the boyfriend what to do. He didn't say what the father should do. He didn't say what the girl should do. He wasn't talking to the daughter. And so they're misinterpreting it. And it was funny because I saw that headline, or I saw somebody put out that headline. And then they got rid of comment sections. If you'll notice, all of these news organizations and far-left liberals, they don't have comment sections. They've gotten rid of their comment sections. ABC News may still have their comment section, but I've been banned from their comment section, and I'll tell you why. But these people went nuts on Jesse this time. And so they're just making up total fake news. I think it's because they're going off the deep end. They hate Trump so much. They hate Jesse. They hate the truth. They hate, God, everything. They went. Daniel says, cucks. True. So I see an atheist YouTube channel post it too. And they said fake news. I said fake news to them. And people are like, what do you mean fake news? We just watched the video. I'm like, exactly. You watched the video and you did not hear him say, nor imply, nor even hint about it. And then I wrote to Right Wing Watch. I'm like, hey guys, usually you quote him, and at least the quotes are accurate. But this time, you did not even like back up what you claim that he said. So thanks for being fake news. And they haven't responded. They haven't corrected it. Nothing. All phony, fake stuff. So now other people are like catching on to this, acting like, oh yeah, Jesse really did say this. No, he did not. So just wanted to mention that. Mike out of Washington. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm excellent, James. How you doing?
Fine, sir. What's up?
No, well, I just wanted to comment on the total hypocrisy of the Democrats as far as the freedom of the woman, to kill the child in the womb.
Yeah.
That's the only freedom they want. Because once the child is born, they want to tell you how to vaccinate, how to medically care for your kid, what school they have to go to. You don't have any freedom of choice once your kid's born. The only freedom of choice they want people to have is whether they could murder their child in the womb at any point, and that's it. But if you want to make your own medical decisions, you want to homeschool your kid, you don't think like they do, then they don't want any freedom as far as that goes.
Yeah, socialism is anti-freedom. It's
the opposite. It's like upside down world.
They believe in freedom from, so-called freedom from religion. They believe in freedom from morality, which is not freedom. That's slavery. And that's how they enslave people, 100%. By making people become more and more immoral. And it's infecting a lot of us. Even those who see that they're wrong about a lot of stuff, many people are infected by this evil because they're pushing all kinds of disgusting, immoral stuff. They're pushing pornography. They're pushing getting high. They're pushing getting drunk. They're pushing sex. They're pushing ignoring laws, ignoring the system.
That's the only way that if you're in that state of mind, in that fallen state, is the only way that you can live with yourself and make those kind of decisions,
Yeah, but people make all kinds of excuses all the time, like, oh, I can't help it, stuff like that, or I'm human. I'm shocked at the way that people
don't
think.
accept responsibility for anything.
Yeah, I'll never forget. Jesse had a black guy come in studio. He was a comedian, and this was a few years ago. And this man is supposed to be a Christian, but he's like shocked at the notion that you should not be having sex out of wedlock, and like he knows that he shouldn't, but he says, "Well, I'm human," and so he just totally excused himself for continuing to do wrong, thinking that, "Oh, I'm human. Everybody does it. Whatever." And everybody doing it doesn't make you less miserable or wrong or going to hell type of situation, or in hell, basically. So, man, these people...
Hell's got open borders, and all the free people can go in there, and then heaven's got nice pearly gates with a wall around it.
Yep, wide is the road, and it's so shocking. And that's why it's nice to see somebody like President Trump or Jesse or... some other people.
Or that Matthew Whitaker, man, to watch him stand up to those evil people and not get emotional, hold his head high, have great body language the whole time, and throw it back in their face. They don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't even trying to be funny, but I was dying when he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, is your time up or whatever?" And everyone...
And she saw, your humor is not appreciated.
BS.
Yeah, exactly. She's so phony.
And we just need more of that, And what you were saying earlier, too, about not trusting doctors, I mean, that's the truth. I mean, they want to murder you, and then when your kid's born, you don't want to give them a hepatitis B shot right as they're born, then you are a bad parent. And, as far as I know, my kid still hasn't been sharing needles or having sex with anybody, so why he would need a hepatitis B shot, I have no idea. But,
that's a good point.
And plus they give the same size shot no matter whether your kid's 12 pounds or 4 pounds. It's still the same size shot, and I don't know what other medical procedures are like that.
And most of these doctors don't even take care of themselves.
Oh, no, exactly, yeah. No, and if you're like morbidly obese and overweight and you go into the doctor, they're not going to tell you, hey, maybe you should like drink more water and less soda and not junk food and go work out. And then that doctor's going to get a bad Yelp review and won't get the business back. So your mainstream doctor will never tell you that you're fat and overweight and need to go exercise.
Right.
You won't go back for their business. So here's a write your prescription. They'll pat you on the back and say, oh, it's your life choice or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate it, Mike. Nice to hear from you.
And then I gotta pay. You gotta pay for their bad health choices the rest of their lives.
Are you catching church with Jesse Lee Peterson?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna watch it at 11 sharp.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna be live in 1 hour. Thank you, sir. Good to hear from you.
All right. Good talking to you, James.
All right. Callers, I'm sorry I can't get to the rest of you. That wraps up the show. We'll be back next week. And also catch me live on Jesse's show, Monday through Friday. I do the news breaks. Hope you like that. And join church with Jesse Lee Peterson in 1 hour. Go to rebuildingtheman.com. Make sure you subscribe to Bond Rebuilding the Man on YouTube. Like it on Facebook, Bond Rebuilding the Man Facebook page. Follow Jesse on Stream Me too. Stream.me/Jesse Lee Peterson. See you guys.